Welcome to Chicago, where the White Sox take on the Angels. Top of the eighth, new pitcher for the White Sox, and Kyren Paris destroys this ball to the left, and it is going to fly out of here! Kyren Paris has left the building in the first pitch in the top of the eighth, and the Angels go out in front, 3-2.
Went out of the ballpark, so that's 2 home runs he's given up in the early going.
Cam Boozer's first pitch of the day is absolutely destroyed by Kyren Paris
Fastball on the inner portion
for a go-ahead home run.
Cam Boozer didn't even look. You can tell by the sound.
Here's Taylor Ward, the top of the Angels order.
Once again, Paris is in there because the normal starting center fielder, Joe Adell, was removed from the game yesterday with hip tightness and is listed as day-to-day.
1-0 on Ward. Boozer fires. Cutter in the zone for a strike.
Top of the order for the Angels as Taylor Ward steps in.
There you look at last year for Boozer.
Ward fouls that one back, and it's 1-2.
Boozer, also a new face on this White Sox team. The story of him getting here to the White Sox is something out of a Disney movie. You go back to high school, and it's been injury after injury that this young man has had to overcome. Here's his
1-2 pitch. And Ward fouls that into play. It's popped up. Here comes Travis Jankowski making the play. First out on the top of the eighth.
Sophomore in high school, broke his femur playing football. Then his senior year, broke his vertebrae lifting weights.
Up to bat for the Angels.
Went on to pitch in nearby Oregon State.
Their young first baseman, Nolan Shanuel.
11 innings into his career at Oregon State, tore his UCL, and he had to have Tommy John surgery when he was 19 years old.
Sweeper low.
Throw another pitch
and it's
in
1-0.
college, but still was able to get signed as an undrafted free agent with the Twins in 2013. Suffered injury after injury with the Twins, and after 5 years in the Twins minor league.
That fastball catches the bottom of the zone. That's a strike, 1-1.
That actually walked away from baseball and thought his career was going to be over. 1-1 here to count on Shanuel.
1-1 delivery. That sweeper's down. And it's 2-1 now.
His father, who works in construction, said, "We got to get you a job doing something." Actually hooked up with a union in Seattle as a carpenter. He was laying ceilings, he said, for almost 2.5 years. And he said he would go there every day on the job and just realize, this isn't what I'm supposed to be doing with my life.
The 2-1 pitch. Shanuel fouls that back. And the count is now all tied at 2.
And one day he was throwing and he realized, I still got some life left on this fastball of mine. So he was training, signed with an independent team, got back into the minor league system, was with the Red Sox last year, making his
2-2 pitch.
debut.
Shanuel hits this into play in the left for a base hit.
And had enough of an impression that the White Sox...
Nolan Shanuel gets on, and the Angels have another base runner in the top of the eighth.
Year with the White Sox at 32 years old.
Well, the arm is
And now up to the bat for the Angels, former MVP, their long-time center fielder, Mike Trout.
Making the Major League club out of spring training.
Big matchup here with Mike Trout.
Boozer misses with the cutter. It's 1-0.
Was very honest when I asked him about his story. He said
Trout is 1 for 3 today.
In those moments,
single.
4 years he was
in the
away
first
from
inning.
baseball back in Seattle.
That's always great to see Mike Trout healthy. Trout takes a cutter in the zone.
He was depressed.
That's 1-1.
Contemplated suicide, but he said he really had to lean on his mom, his dad, his 2 sisters to get him out of that hole, and he is so grateful for every chance he gets to take the mound here in the big leagues.
1-1 delivery. Trout swings and misses at the cutter in the dirt. He was fooled. 1-2 now on Trout. Timeout called by Mike Trout.
Trout picked up his first hit of the season and his first at bat.
1-2 pitch. Trout fouls that away.
There's a good fastball upstairs, and he had Trout expanding his strike zone. He was just able to fight it off.
We'll see another.
Want to bury one of those sliders again, you're probably going to get a swing.
Boozer looking to put
Double
Trout
play
away
ball
here.
in effect
1 ball,
here.
2 strikes to count.
1-2 pitch. Trout swings and misses at a sweeper in the dirt. And that's a strikeout for Cam Boozer. And the White Sox are 1 out away from going back to batting.
Ball down and out of the zone. See the off-center grip? Good spin. And Trout was completely fooled.
Cleanup hitter.
Jorge Soler to DH, up to bat, and he fouls the first pitch that he sees off. 0-1. Soler was acquired this offseason by the Angels in a trade with the Atlanta Braves that sent Griffin Canning back to Atlanta,
for 2, double in his last
where he
at-bat,
eventually got
6th inning.
released and signed with the Mets. 1-1 now on Soler. Former World Series MVP with the Braves back in 2021.
One.
That cutter finds the zone, and it's 1-2. White Sox trying to get out of the frame. Soler swings and misses at the sweeper, and Cam Boozer, after a rocky start, delivered no more damage after Kyren Paris went yard on the first pitch of the top of the 8th. And the White Sox will come up to bat in the bottom of the 8th, now down by 1 after Paris homered. We'll be right back from Chicago. New pitcher for the Angels, Brock Burke. He appeared in 34 games last year, threw 34 innings, had an ERA at
He
5.82.
inherits a 1-run lead as the Sox are looking to, at the very least,
Coming up to bat for the Chicago White Sox is Austin Slater, pinch hitting.
After the rain delay, as Austin Slater will be the pinch hitter for Travis Jankowski.
Slater goes after the first pitch and fouls it off.
Fouled away, upper deck.
career pinch hitting, pretty impressive.
Slater's at the bottom of the order for the White Sox.
Pinch hitter.
0-1 pitch. That fastball misses way outside.
Slater
1-1 offering. And Slater hits this ball right to Yohan Moncada. He'll flip it over to Shenuel for the first out on the bottom of the 8th.
For a preview of what's coming up tonight on White Sox Postgame Live, presented by Yingling, let's check in the studio with Chuck and Ozzy.
All right, guys. So it's 2 hits yesterday, just 5 today. The Sox have a great chance to run across the bottom of the 7th, and now they're trailing.
This is it. I think we got a little excited about it. Swing the back pitch, but they have been. I always love with good pitching. When you have a good pitching, they always you have opportunity to win the game.
Yeah, that was a 102-mile-an-hour pitch against Baldwin. He ends up making an out Sosa as well. We'll see what happens in the bottom of the 8th inning right here, right now. Back over to you guys.
Swing and a miss on the first pitch on Taylor.
The guy off the bench,
That's
Michael
0-1.
A. Taylor. Will pinch hit for the leadoff guy, Nick Maton.
Michael A. Taylor also pinch hitting. And he swings and misses at another fastball from Burke. It's quickly 0-2 on Michael
He's got a very
A.
good fastball. It's the other pitches that have given him some problems. He's allowed an OPS of 792. That's 11th highest in the major leagues since the 2023 season.
0-2 pitch. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Michael A. Taylor goes down swinging on 3 straight pitches. And there's 2 gone in the bottom of the 8th.
50-50 raffle. Sox Split presented by Wintrust is on sale now until the end of the 9th inning. Play now at whitesox.com/Sox-Split. It is valid for Illinois residents 18 and over.
Up to bat for the White Sox, their superstar outfielder, Luis Robert. And he fouls off
He's hacking at the
the
first
first fastball he sees.
Well, he takes a philosophy that maybe the best pitch you're going to get is the first pitch you get. He goes up there ready to swing and foul that one off.
0-1 pitch. That changeup's down.
It's
It's 1-1. 1-1 delivery. And that changeup is fouled off by Robert, and it's
There was another
1-2.
change. A pretty good pitch. It was out of the strike zone. Luis expanded it and fouled it off.
2 away here in this bottom of the
1-2
inning.
pitch. That fastball misses, and it's ball 2.
It's almost like a tennis match. You hear the grunting from Tick on the mound.
He's got some gruntage to him.
2-2, Burke delivers. Robert hits this ball past Luis Rengifo and into center field for a base hit.
Luis Robert Jr. picks up his second hit today.
Luis Robert Jr. at first base.
That's his changeup. And
With
it's off the
a
end
single.
of the bat. We told you about the very high OPS on non-fastballs. There's a non-fastball that wound up in center field. And that is a tying run on base.
So the White Sox have
This is
the game-tying run on first, which is Luis Robert. Andrew Benintendi comes to face Burke. They're both lefties. Let's see what happens here. And Benintendi goes after the first pitch and he fouls it off.
Jason Bourgeois, the first base coach, with some fancy footwork to get out of the way of that.
The crowd has stuck around. Trying to get Benintendi some energy at the plate.
0-1 offering. That sinker misses away. Ball 1.
Robert
Count all tied at 1.
We're 2 away.
Burke checks on the runner at first. Robert gets back in time. The 1-1 delivery. Benintendi swings and misses a changeup in the zone. That is strike 2.
That's the best.
And the White Sox are down to their last strike in the frame. That changeup has a lot of motion. Pulled the string on Benintendi.
15th pitch of the inning.
1-2 pitch. Slider.
Jr. swipes second base.
That slider missed outside as Robert swipes second. Now 1 hit ties this game. That was a really bad throw by D'Arnaud. He threw it at his knees. And Tim Anderson had no chance to get the tag applied to Robert. Former teammates. 2-2. Benintendi hits this ball. Rengifo stops it and makes a thrilling throw to get out of the inning. What a play by Luis Rengifo with the backhanded throw
Good play of the game for Rengifo, and he gets the job
to
done.
flip it to Shanduel and get the final out in time. Head to the top of the ninth. Angels lead by 1.
We go to the ninth.
Welcome back to the south side of Chicago here at Rate Field. New pitcher for the White Sox, Frazier Ellard.
Ellard comes on. You saw what he did last year.
He will face
pretty good one at 375.
Yohan Moncada, a former White Sox, as Frazier misses with his first
Ellard,
pitch.
one of 3
1-0.
lefties in the bullpen for the White Sox this season.
That fastball is up
First
high.
2 up and out of the zone. 2-0 to count to Yohan Moncada.
Two-0 pitch. Swing and a miss to the fastball in the zone. Pumped it at 95 miles per hour.
Moncada drove in
And it's
the
2-1
game
the count
yesterday
now.
at the plate. But he's actually looked really good in the field this entire series.
I mean, he's a very good defender, always has been.
And that ball is shot down the first baseline, foul. 2-2.
Health has always been the question with Moncada. And the Angels taking a chance that he could stay healthy on a 1-year, $5 million deal.
2-2 pitch. Up high for ball 3, and the count is full. on Yoan Moncada. Big pitch here. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Fastball blown right by Moncada at 94. That's the first out in the top of the ninth. Now facing Frazier will be Travis d'Arnaud, and on the first pitch, d'Arnaud gets hit. And that'll be a free base for the Angels. And that'll bring up the second baseman, Luis Rengifo. Gets him right on the arm.
2 in. So he's got the pad there. It probably took a little of the pain out of that one. Still not great, but he appears to be okay.
A little stare.
d'Arnaud at first. Rengifo fouls that one off. That's 0-1. The inning-ending double play ball is in effect here for the White Sox. 0 for 2 with a walk in the second today is Luis Rengifo.
Luis Rengifo, 0 for 2 so far today.
His contribution has been defensive. He's made 2 outstanding plays in the field.
0-1 pitch. That slider just misses outside. The count is tied up at 1. One pitch. Rengifo swings and misses at the high heat. And it's 1-2.
Well, for Eller, trying to keep this a 1-run game.
And in the pen for the Angels, their new closer, it's Kenley.
Kenley Jansen, their closer they signed in the offseason.
Yeah, I mean, picked up the save yesterday. Looks like he'll have
the 1-2 pitch from Frazier. That's down. And the count is all tied at 2.
And I would say to the boys, be ready for the cutter, because you're going to see a cornucopia of them.
Fourth all-time in terms of Major League Baseball save list, Kenley Jansen.
Here's Luis. He'll hit this ball right for 1, 2. Ding-ending double play.
Let's see if the White Sox.
And the White Sox will go into the bottom of the ninth, down by a run, as that ball was hit right to Baldwin, who flipped it over.
Spring is here. Time to refresh your home. During Steinhoffel's
Lenny
Get Ready
Sosa,
for Spring Sale,
and he got it over to Vaughn.
the latest looks and
Let's see what the
trends
White
to
Sox can do
transform
in the bottom of the
your space.
ninth, down by a run.
Redesign
Kenley will come in for the Angels to try and close out the White Sox. 54 games last year he appeared in for the Red Sox, 54 innings, and a 3.29 ERA. For Kenley, let's see if he can put the White Sox away and give the Angels the series win.
But it's deception as far as throwing the baseball, because you just got to try to pick up the ball out of his hand, which is easier said than done.
At 37 years old, still
Coming up to bat
knows how to shut
for the White Sox, their first baseman, Andrew Vaughn.
It'll be Andrew Vaughn to start things off for the Sox. 4, 5, 6 due up at the plate here in the bottom of the ninth.
Here we go. Righty-righty matchup. Kenley fires. That cutter's inside and up for a ball. 1-0.
1-0.
Just missed.
0 for 3 today is Andrew Vaughn with a line-out, ground out, and a strikeout.
Still looking for his first hit, despite hitting the ball pretty hard.
1-0. That ball's roped to the left for a base hit. That's going to go all the way to the warning track. Vaughn rounds first. Ward's got it. It's going to be a double for Andrew Vaughn. And the game-tying run is at second base for the White Sox.
Andrew was doing that, so you knew it was just a matter of time until he came up with something meaningful. And this cutter stayed in the middle of the plate. Andrew took it down the line. No chance for Ward to do anything but get it back in, and there's the tying run. Andrew will depart.
And now,
And it's Corey Lee.
new pinch runner For the White Sox, Corey Lee comes to second base for Andrew Vaughn.
So Corey Lee representing the tying run at second base.
Matt Tice, the former Angel, will come up to bat for the White Sox to try and drive Corey Lee in. Kenley fires to Tice, and that cutter's outside for a ball. 1-0. Oh.
Dunwell is playing very close. On the first pitch, he was in
Not
two
now.
runners, not at third. It's at
Not
second.
now,
Now
these
he
internet
moves
issues,
back
not
to give him
now.
a better angle on the ball. I think that Ron Washington probably looked out and said,
Come on. Why now? Getting tired of this.
back a little bit. That the stuff
Oh, my God.
isn't quite what it was yesterday. So this is going to be a battle for him.
Hang on a second, guys. My internet's starting to crap.
Usually don't throw back-to-back games this early in the year, but he did it. I'm talking about Washington, did it with Joyce, who was
I can't
successful.
see him. I've seen
He's
him
doing it
froze.
with Jansen and his.
My screen froze. Hang on. I'm going to miss something, aren't I?
Back a little bit.
No, but I come right back and the internet. Okay.
Had been susceptible to a
Okay, we're
stolen
back.
base, so he's
2-1 now on Matt Tice.
Nothing will phase Jansen at this stage.
Lee
in
still at
his career.
second. Kenley fires a high sinker. That's 3-1 on Matt Tice.
Pitching on back-to-back days, Jansen threw 19 pitches yesterday.
Big pitch here.
Missing some sharpness here.
Kenley
against the
looks
first
at
two
Lee at
batters
second.
Today.
Now fires. And that's a walk.
At this point,
Matt Tice is the game-winning run at first base.
square around the bunt.
And there's 2 on and nobody out for the White
Down in
Sox.
the corners.
Well, he doesn't have anybody else on the bench
Coming
at
up
this
to
point.
bat for
To
Chicago
bring a pitcher in to try to bunt. But Miguel Vargas will have
is
to
Miguel
do. as
Vargas.
He's 0 for 2 today with a walk. Vargas struck out against Jansen yesterday.
Boy, Tice on base 3 times today, twice yesterday, 3 walks. in this
Tice at
series.
first, Corey Lee at second. Kenley fires to Vargas. Vargas pops this one up. And Tim Anderson will call for it and make the first out of the bottom of the ninth. 1 out.
And no bunt.
He got underneath that.
Vargas got underneath
Straight
of
up,
it.
big
He knew it right away and slammed his bat down in
Batter now,
frustration.
Brooks Baldwin 1 for 3. Last year on
And now Brooks
back-to-back
Baldwin
days,
comes up the
Jansen
bat
was very good.
for the White
Had
Sox.
2.51 ERA, saved 9 of his 10 chances. So even as he's gotten older, he takes care of his body, really works out a lot, does a lot of cardio. So typically, Kenley Jansen is able to have enough stamina to go back-to-back
Angels
days.
3, White Sox 2.
2-1 with 1 out here
Kenley
for
will
Baldwin.
fire to Baldwin. That's up high.
That's ball 1.
Ball 1.
Corey Lee runs pretty good. We'll keep an eye on this very your look back to second base.
Baldwin has pretty good speed, too, at the plate.
The 1-0 offering. And Baldwin fouls that back.
Home plate.
Count is all tied at 1.
Baldwin popped out to shallow left
The
field.
double
and
play
White
ball
Sox had a
is
chance
in
the
effect
7th inning. Runners on second and
here
third
for
right
the
after rain
Angels.
delay. After a Ben Joyce
One
wild
ground
pitch,
ball
Joyce
and it's
got
over.
2 pop-ups to get out of the inning. Jansen trying to work out of trouble in the 9th.
Kenley fires inside for ball number 2. Cutter at 93 miles per hour. And Baldwin goes ahead in the count.
3-1, you don't know, even though you're going to see more than likely a cutter from Kenley Jansen, but it's the spot he'll have to go with it. 3-1 as compared to potentially he gets back to a 2-2 count.
Time called as Jansen steps off. Leanin Sosa.
Kenley calls time. He steps off.
And
now he heads back in. Tice at first. Lee at second. 1 out in the bottom of the ninth. 2-1 count. The pitch. Baldwin grounds this ball right to Renhefo. Flips to Anderson for 1. Throws first. Eat time! And the Angels win! Kenley Jansen gets out of the jam with an inning-ending double play.
Opening
I
series.
think they're going to take a look at it just to make sure, but that is an incredible throwing arm.
Wow.
Tim Anderson, that is a gun. He's getting fired that ball over. I thought they had no chance, but Rengifo to Anderson finished the game, and that's why Kenley Jansen is that good, because it doesn't phase him with a guy in scoring position, a quick feed, and look how much he gets on this throw. That's some gas across the diamond for Tim Anderson.
What a win for the Angels. Got hairy for a quick second, but then Kenley got 3 quick outs and won it for the Angels here in Chicago. The Angels take the series 2-1 with a 3-2 win today. See y'all later. RB out. Peace.